I'm bringing you gifts of joy. Da 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 da. Gifts of joy. Da 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 da. Gifts of joy. Gifts of joy.
Welcome back. You are watching Gifts of Joy with your host, Joy Douglas. Thank you so much for coming back with me today. Hey, let's recap. Before we get deep down and dirty with the topic for today, let's recap on last week's topic. Sexual voyage. Now, I know this blew some of you guys away, the fact that I would be talking about sexual voyage, but hey, I said I wanted to do some things I hadn't done before. So it was definitely a good episode. Our guest was Aaron Green, which he's the author of Sexual Voyage, Exploration, Thoughts and Feelings. And so I'm very, very excited about that and what we had to talk about. My personal thoughts on the book, first of all, it had me really, really evaluating some things. And so I was a little shocked at first, but hey, it was new for me. But having Aaron on the show really gave me a different perspective and enlightened me not to judge and not to be prejudging anything before you really understand where it comes from. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode. And if you have any thoughts or any comments or want to discuss it with me, hey, check me out. You can catch me on Instagram at The Joy Douglas with 2 S now. You can check me out on Facebook, Joy Douglas. You can check me out on my website, joydouglas.com. You can even definitely watch this show again and again, so you can go back and see what we were talking about on e-linetv.com, as well as Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. So you got plenty of platforms to be able to check us out on. You've got to be able to watch Sexual Voyage before you watch today's episode. You got to be able to watch that. So I guess my opinion and how I reflected about that show is definitely don't judge a book by its cover. That's number one. We've heard that all of our lives. But it just put me in a totally different realm of understanding that the start of that book was definitely explicit. I'm not going to give the book away, guys, because you've got to go and get the book. But it had your girl sweating, okay? It had me sweating. But having Aaron on, he explained some things and he shared some things that were really important about why he decided to do the book. He was inspired by other authors. And so, too, from his perspective, some things he's been through, some things he hasn't, but some things were just a thought process. So the fact that I shared on that show that it's so many things that we think about that we don't want to talk about or that we have questions about and there's nobody to discuss those things with. So that's why I'm here. That's why you got to hit me up on all of the platforms to be able to talk to me so we can get to the nitty gritty of things and we can get you some understanding. Maybe we can help each other understand some things. So I'm very, very excited. It's interesting of how we look at things because maybe how we were raised or just our own perception of how we look at things and how we view people and their relationships and not understanding how they got there or what keeps them there, how they maintain. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're definitely going to get down to another perspective on a different type of relationship. And so we can understand. Like I said, there's no judgment here. I want to be able to understand because I love everybody. Might not like everybody, but I love everybody. And I want to have a better understanding of different types of relationships so that I'll just be filled with knowledge. So guys, stay tuned with me. Let me tell you why I chose this topic today is so that we can educate ourselves. Because like I said, it's not a topic that's talked about a whole lot, but I'm sure people wonder how do people get into those situations, how they even stay there, and why they choose to stay there. So hopefully we'll have those questions answered today. We have a special guest that is going to be joining us. She is going to be sharing her story and just enlightening us. So I'll be right back with her. You're watching the Gifts of Joy show. I'm your host, Joy Douglas.
Hey, my beautiful butterflies. I know y'all been wondering, where's Chrissy Collins and Coffee with Chrissy? Well, guess what? We are back and we're stronger than ever on E-Line TV. That's right, e-linetv.com. Y'all, I'm so excited because on this streaming network, we're going to be doing so much. And with Coffee with Chrissy and you, the sky's the limit. So make sure you go and subscribe to e-linetv.com. It's free right now, but the prices are going to go up. So we want you to come on and jump on board right now. I can't wait. Y'all meet me there and make sure you have your cup of coffee ready.
Welcome back. This is your girl, Joy Douglas, here with the Gifts of Joy talk show. Thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, we have a wonderful show with you. We have a young lady here from New York, Miss Nyla Lewis. Thank you so much for being here with me, Nyla.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Well, let me just go ahead and get started. There's so many misconceptions about sugar babies. Remember, I told you guys the topic today was going to be sugar babies. So many misconceptions about that. And will you just go ahead and elaborate on what is a sugar baby? Let's get started with that.
Okay. So for me, a sugar baby is someone that's not too old. They're typically in their younger range, and they deal with guys that's older. It doesn't necessarily have to be a in-person relationship. It can be something like cyber relationships, but you're just giving someone your time, your attention, and they are giving you something in like a gift or maybe funds. It just depends on what type of sugar baby you are.
Okay. Well, how did you get into the lifestyle as being a sugar baby?
So it happened a long time ago. I actually have all exotic dancing friends, and they are all sugar babies. Okay. So as I go out and, we're in that type of lifestyle, we're at parties, we're meeting people, I just see how well they're taken care of, like their cars, their homes, everything is just good for them. And once they told me how I can get into it and, the do's and don'ts or just, having fun with it, I was all for it. Wow. All for it.
So let me ask you this. Is it about the sex?
No, it's not. I wouldn't say I'm speaking for everyone when I say that, because for some people it could be. For me, no. I like spending time with men, period. So I would say the time, the attention. I love gifts. I love money. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a job to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like working a 9 to 5, punching the clock. Why are we going to work? To cut the check. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of a job for me. Not typically for the sex, no.
So, okay. So if it's not typically for the sex, does sex get to be involved at some point?
Sometimes. It definitely depends on the sugar daddy. Some of them don't want it. Some kind of just really want the attention. Some really want to just be caressed. They might want a massage. They might just want to take you out to eat, to show you off, be their trophy. So no, not with all of them.
So do you think, because you said some of them just want to be caressed or just want to show you off, do you think it's the age? Or what is the age range that you've dealt with as far as sugar daddies are concerned?
I've dealt with, when I was younger, when I was like 18, I've dealt with guys that were in their 40s and up. Now I'm in my 20s and it's the same. So from like I would say I wouldn't call someone in their early 30s a sugar daddy just yet. But over 40 and up, yeah, sugar daddies. I've dealt with all age range. I really don't mind.
Wow. So you said you've been labeled or considered yourself a sugar baby since about 18 years old? Okay, let me ask you this because this is a little deeper. So, um, has any trauma happened for you to kind of push you into that lifestyle in your past?
No trauma has happened with me. Again, I just feel like, seeing how my friends are being well taken care of. And sometimes they don't even have to be with the guys. It was just something interesting to me. However, hearing stories from other girls, sometimes trauma do take place in their life. And I think that kind of pushes them to want that type of attention as well. Not necessarily for me. It's just, I started off wanting to have fun. I wanted the things they were getting, and it kind of stuck with me.
So when you approached or when you are approached, is it that you are approached by these gentlemen or they approach you? How, I mean, how does that go? Because who knows you're a sugar baby by looking at you. So how does that work?
Um, it's like I say, it's where I place myself. So the type of parties I'm at. There's also online websites, so I can actually put myself somewhere and they'll just come right to me.
Shut your mouth,
they'll
girl.
come right to me from these websites.
Really?
Or I can be introduced by one sugar daddy to his associate, his friend from work. Hey, she may have some friends, and they just might themselves say, "I like her. I like your sugar baby." My friends can also refer me to people, so it works both ways.
What, so wait a minute, go back. Because you said they can refer you. So what, y'all go from one sugar daddy to the other one?
It whoever fits what
Okay.
I'm looking for.
What you,
Yeah.
wow. What's the root of being taken care of when, because if you're going, so it's not really a relationship, then it's, oh wow, okay, you got me
I mean,
stunned.
sometimes it's like a relationships, and sometimes with different sugar babies, it actually can be and turn into one. I know sugar babies that married their sugar daddies,
Okay.
so it could be a relationship.
So it
Yeah,
just kind of depends on where both of you are, the sugar baby and the
correct.
sugar
Yep.
daddy.
Yes.
So what's the, like I said, what's the root of you being taken care of? What are your requirements? What do you require?
Pretty much. Destiny Child. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay
Oh,
my telephone bills? What can you do for me? I'm taking my time out my day to talk to you. If these guys want to meet up eventually, I'm taking my time out to meet up with you. And there's also a meetup fee. So everything comes with the price. Hey, I want to meet you. I've been talking to you for 2 months. When can I meet you, sugar baby? Let's talk about this price first.
so you
Once we
said
get
there is a
that order,
meetup fee,
it's a
honey.
meetup
So
fee.
so this is like a job for you.
It is a job. It is. Yes, it is.
Honey, you got my mind going 1,000 miles per hour. This is why I'm doing this show because I know it's so many people that have no idea. The first time I heard the term sugar baby, I just thought about, of course, I heard about college students. So are you in school?
Not currently.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I heard about it. Somebody that's in school and they being taken care of, they got the car, the apartment and all that. So I just never thought about it as a job. This is definitely interesting.
It is a job.
Wow. So the way that I'm a kind of detour a little bit. The way that you got into this in being introduced to it by other friends, were they, in it really for the same things, like looking at it as a job? Or, well, you did say that some of the sugar babies marry the sugar daddies. So, but I guess I'm just trying to understand how you said it's a website. I'm so stunned. I'm so stunned. You said it's a website you can go on.
It's a few, yes. It's a
And it's
few.
just for, so it's sugar babies looking for sugar daddies or sugar daddies looking for sugar babies?
Yep, both. It gives you that option in the beginning. Hey, click here if you're a sugar baby looking for a sugar daddy, or if you're a sugar daddy looking for a sugar baby. It gives you that option of who you are and what you want. You could create a whole profile, put your pictures up, a bio, and they start coming like this.
Wow. So let me ask you this from a personal perspective, do you feel at any point you're exploiting yourself or they exploit you in any way, especially if they introduce you to different people? How do you feel about that?
No, not really. I say that because most of the time they're not from my hometown. So
Right.
it's people that's probably like a few hours away. And that's kind of why I say you sometimes don't even meet your sugar daddy. You just
Okay.
speak to them sometimes. Sometimes the distance is too far, but these guys will literally send for you. It doesn't matter where I am in the world. They'll send. They'll
Wow.
fly me out.
Girl, you sound like you living a life for a whole lot of a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. Let me ask you this real quick. How do you feel about dating someone older? Since you've been with someone older since you were 18. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, at first I used to feel like ill, like,
Okay.
no, I only want to date people my age. But then I started noticing, I felt like I was a little more mature than the guys my age. And
Okay.
so I had a friend that told me, you need to try out someone way older than you, not just a little older, way older. They'll treat you better. You don't have to worry about nothing. I'm like, what do you mean? I tried it. I love it. So I'll date guys older if it wasn't just like a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship. I like older guys.
Wow. Okay. Well, you've shared a lot of things with us so far, Nyla. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back with Miss Nyla Lewis. You're watching the Gifts of Joy show. I'm your host, Joy Douglas. You have been watching the Gifts of Joy show. I am your girl, Joy Douglas. Thank you so much for coming back with me. We have been talking to the lovely Miss Nyla Lewis. Honey, she has given me some insight. I did not know anything about sugar babies, but we've been talking about sugar babies today. We're gonna jump right back in, Nyla, because you shared some things as far as it's websites out there that you can get on. The sugar baby, the sugar daddy can. It's not all about sex. In most cases, it's not. It's just companionship. So let me get to this level now. There seems to be a thin line between sugar babies and prostitution. Can you elaborate on that?
Some people would say it's definitely the same. But prostitution is, meeting a guy for 10 minutes at the most, not even, and jumping right into it and getting the money, and that's it. Or maybe they come back a second time or something. I don't know, but it's meeting someone instantly. Being a sugar baby, you build. You gotta get to know these guys over time. So you don't just meet them the very first time you speak to them. You get to know them. They probably tell a few lies. We don't know. But what
Okay.
we do know is we're speaking to them. We got their name, information, address, their likes and dislikes. It's not a 1 hour conversation or a 1 day conversation. We speak for months. We really get to know these guys as much as we can and build the relationship from there.
So it is a relationship. It's a relationship. Okay, so it's just a relationship in some cases with no sex. That's what I'm tripping about.
Some cases, yeah.
Girl, that's gonna blow somebody away. I mean, what's some ways? Women and men can be careful regarding this, though. What are some safe factors that need to be put in place?
So for me, I definitely speak to the guys for a long period of time before actually meeting up with them. I am so big on my safety. I want to see license. I want to see your address that you told me to come to. It's on this license, your name. I want to where do you work again? Okay. I need to verify this stuff just to be safe for myself. And I also like, if we are going to meet up for the first time, it needs to be in a public place.
Okay.
So, hey, let's go out to eat. Let's hang out. I want it to be somewhere where people can see us, so I can get a feel of you in person.
Okay. Yeah, so you can remember what them eyes look like, what scar he got on his face, all that. Just in case something goes wrong. Nyla, this industry has a lot of secrecy, as a lot of the relationships are part of affairs. Have you ever been a part of one?
Of a fair?
Mm-hmm.
No. So I've dealt with guys who say they just got out of like a marriage, who probably would still be married, but I wouldn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? I just strictly do what I'm there for, talk to them on the phone, go out to eat. I just do my job. So no, but I've heard
So
lots
would
of.
you say that your part of your criteria is that they're not in a relationship or they don't have wives or anything like that?
For me, yes, because I don't want it to be messy. If you're looking for a friend and not a sugar baby, that's one thing. Hey, you just need somebody to talk to, sometimes vent to, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for me to be your sugar baby, I don't want it to get messy.
So that actually goes into what I was going to ask you next. Isn't it dangerous playing around with people's relationships? But in your case, you are strictly no other person that's involved in their life. So they're really wanting just you. So is there multiple relationships that you're in at one time, or how do you work that?
Yes, it is. And I work it because it's not, again, they're not really from my town. I've spoken on the phone with a sugar daddy that's probably been 45 minutes away. That was like the closest. But these people are so far that I don't have too much time to spend with them. I'm not going to them that much. But speaking on the phone, I'm literally on my phone. I mean, day and night, all day I'm on my phone speaking to these guys, giving advice, making them feel good, just by talking to them, just by taking time out my day to vocally, how are you doing today? What's your plans for this weekend? Just spend the time. So it's different people, but different times.
So girl, you getting your bills paid by talking to somebody on the phone.
Yes.
Honey, if all of us could have that job, we'd be rich.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think this subject, being a sugar baby or being a sugar baby or sugar daddy, is taboo?
No, I don't. I feel like I can't promote people to do this, but if everyone got a chance to see what it's really like, it's something they would probably stick with as a side hustle. They could still do whatever they're doing, but they'll probably be like, wow, I literally just answered the phone for this man, just, spoke to him like a regular person, and look at my bank account. I think, if everybody really knew what it was about, they wouldn't, they would love it. Like,
so when you just said that, it made me think of years ago. I remember something being on television. They would have a commercial. I guess it was phone sex. So people were getting paid to have phone sex.
I remember, like the chat line.
Yeah, the chat. So does any of that go on, child? I mean, they all the way across the world, so you can't get to everybody. So do you have conversations like that too?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep. So we talk nasty sometimes, if that's what they want. Yeah.
Okay. It's whatever is required. Whatever is required or asked for.
Yep. So pretty much on my website, I have a bio of what I'm looking for, what I'm into, and that attracts the person that's looking for the same thing. Okay. So if they want to do something like that, I'm for it. So we can do that. We can talk nasty on the phone. That's fine. But I do want to make it clear that, I need, if we're planning on meeting up, I need the meet up fee. I need my allowance. Sometimes it could be daily. Some guys it's weekly. Some guys it's monthly to give you a big lump sum. Some just call and say, what bill you need paid today. So, yep. As long as they know what I'm looking for and they're looking for that too, we click.
So before I go to my next thing, let me ask you this real quick because it just came to my mind. How long you gonna be doing this?
Probably for the rest of my life.
So you don't desire to be in a relationship or get married or anything?
I do, but it has to be, an older guy. And I feel like my husband is going to be my sugar daddy. I feel like that's who I'm going to marry. Because those are the guys that I spend most of my time with. I speak to them the most. When I am out, I'm not attracted by none of the guys I see. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really give them a chance, but I'm just not attracted by it because guess what? They want prostitution relationship. They want to have sex as soon as they meet you. Hey, let me buy you a drink and let's go to the hotel. Sir, my lights need to be paid. That's not what I'm looking for.
Wow. By you saying that, do you think that this puts a different perspective of what you feel like your worth is as a woman? No,
I don't. Because I still have taken care of everything I needed to for myself in life. I have a degree. I still work a 9 to 5. I'm a mother. You know what I mean? So I still feel like I'm worth what I'm worth. I'm myself regardless. This is just a side hustle that's still bringing in a big income. I mean, I feel like we all have a little hustle in us, a little side hustle. Right. For me, this is just the best way.
Wow. I've read over 3 million college students in the U.S. are considered sugar babies and growing. Of course, you say you've been accustomed to this lifestyle since 18 years old. Do you kind of continue to just look for the next one until you decide, hey, yeah, I'm going to settle down one day?
I kind of let them find me. I don't look for sugar daddies. Nope. Okay. If they write me from the site or if someone referred them to me, then I go about it like that. But no, I don't look for them.
You don't look for them. So when I asked you, does it kind of put more value on your worth? I mean that in a positive way because just listening to you, even though I was not familiar with this topic until we're talking, as a woman, I'm like, hey, do what you got to do. That's how I feel. Lord, I'm going to get in trouble with that one. But I'm like, do what you have to do. But to me, it sounds like even though you're in it for the monetary reasons to make sure things are taken care of, but you value yourself, you're protecting yourself in such a way that a lot of women that are in relationships where they ain't getting no money. And so they're not valued and that they're not taken care of properly as a queen should be taken care of.
Yep. I was going to say, I just feel like I have to take care of myself. I have to make sure that whatever's going on in life, I'm still taken care of. I still do work, so I still pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to be a slave. you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to work, still have extra funds, and not struggle in life. We're going back into a pandemic. It never really stops. You know what I mean? Right. That's hard for a lot of people. My bills are still getting paid.
Hey, I hear you. Honey, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on today. I really have enjoyed it. You have definitely enlightened me on some things that I did not know. My hat's off to you. You do what you have to do. Definitely be safe. But at least this gives me a different perspective on what sugar babies are and sugar daddies are looking for. And I've always said, hey, you got to do whatever your truth is, that's what your truth is. So, hey, just be safe out there, Nyla. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Joy Douglas with the Gifts of Joy Talk Show.
I'm Nita T, and on the Totally Hill Show, I'm the co-host with my segment, Be in the Know. You can catch us on the e-line.tv.com.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Gifts of Joy Talk Show. I'm your host, Joy Douglas. We have had the privilege of talking to Ms. Nyla Lewis from New York. We have been discussing, honey, the topic of sugar babies. Nyla has opened up my eyes to some things that I had no clue about. So, Nyla, let's start with, or just continue with, what are you looking for in a sugar baby? What is that description? What does that look like to you? A sugar daddy. That's what I should have said.
A sugar daddy. A gentleman. That's just first and foremost. Someone that's a gentleman. Someone that's older, of course, and someone that does not mind taking care of me. And I take care of him as well. You know what I'm saying? Probably not financially, but just being there as a companionship, something like that. So I'm looking for a gentleman in total.
So for those young ladies that may be getting into this field of being a sugar baby, or wanting to get into the field of being a sugar baby, now that I understand it's a field and it's a job, what could you tell them about being safe and just how to protect themselves?
I would say that be completely honest in your bio. So if you're going to get on the website, just be completely honest about who you are, what you're looking for, and just always remember you have to protect yourself and whole. So you don't want to ever tell them where you live. You don't even want to tell them close to where you live. Hey, meet me around the corner. No, you don't want to tell them your area, this side of town, that side. No. The guys that I deal with don't even know what city I'm from. So, you want to protect yourself that way. If you're meet in a public place a few times, check out their IDs, always get license plate number, always know where you are when you're with them. I also do not get in my sugar daddy's car. Okay. If you want me to ride in a nice car, buy me one. Wow. So I have my nice little Dodge Charger that my sugar daddy brought me, and I come to him sometimes. You know what I mean? So just always protect yourself. Know where you are. Check out your surroundings. Check their information. Never give yours.
So have you ever had any encounters with someone that wanted more, or that appeared to be one way on the bio, and then you encountered them and they're nothing like? So have you been catfished?
I have been catfished. Yes, I have. And the guys from MTV did not come and save me. Yes, I've been catfished. I've met this guy. He seemed so nice. And, I said I was looking for a gentleman. So I was already drawn into him. But then when I did meet him, probably about 5 months later, he was very aggressive. He was controlling. He did not want to meet in a public place. He was like, just come to my house. And I'm like, that wasn't the agreement. I don't want to. And when we did meet up, it became a not public place. It was a park, and he was very controlling and aggressive. He wanted me to get in his car. He was doing a lot, but luckily I keep back up. So I was good. I was protected.
Okay. So even to be able to share that story with other young ladies that need to be aware that you can be catfished too. So you definitely have to be careful.
Yes. I would recommend whatever city or state that you guys are in, look into getting a gun permit. You don't want to, hurt someone. I'm not saying, be a violent person, but you want to also protect yourself as well. So look into getting a gun permit, have that with you for your safety. Or girls who's just not into that or don't want to wait for the process, get you some mace. Get you some mace, get you a taser. Just, keep it. You just got to protect yourself, or who will.
Wow. Now you mentioned, and I don't want to get too personal, but I just have to ask. You mentioned that you are a mother. So do your children or a child know about this lifestyle?
They don't know what it's called. They don't know who I'm talking to. They're so nosy. They're like, who is that? none of your business.
Okay.
So no, they don't know, but they do know I spend a lot of my time on the phone. So when I'm not at work, I'm always on the phone, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, still working. But I don't think they really know what's going on because they don't question it too much, especially the gifts they get, the birthday parties that's over the top, the clothing, the shoes, the jewelry. You know what I'm saying? They're happy kids. So
Wow. What do you? No, I'm not even going to ask you that. That's too personal.
it's okay.
Do you have a daughter, or do you have a daughter? Okay, so what if your daughter came to you and said, "Hey," when she figures out what this is all about, "Hey, mommy, I want to be a sugar baby." What are you gonna tell her?
I actually have a teenager, so she's old enough to, know, and she's getting close to that age where I started out at. But the way I raised her, she wouldn't be interested in it at all. But if by chance, one of her friends is into it, and then she's like, well, my friend think it's cool, I'll try it. I would just have to educate her the very most on how to go about it, how to protect herself, how to not do it where you live. Just have to tell her what I know. So that, because at the end of the day, if we're being real, kids is going to do what they want to do.
That's true.
So all I could do is give her the best advice ever.
That's true. Well, honey, I tell you this, you are one of the most confident females I have ever talked to. I did not understand this lifestyle. Now you have definitely enlightened me. I would not, I've got 3 daughters myself. I wouldn't push it on them. Because I wouldn't push it on them. But if someone was to approach me about this conversation, you've definitely enlightened me, and to let me know that it's not always about the sex. So there's definitely a misconception of being a sugar baby and a sugar daddy. Definitely. So you've enlightened us here today. So I appreciate you so much for being here. It was truly an honor and a privilege to be able to speak with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed telling my story.
You're very welcome. Guys, you have been watching the episode about sugar babies. Now, just like I just shared with Nyla, that so many things I did not know, and now I do. I have a different perception of what sugar babies is and sugar daddies, and it's not always about the sex. And so we as society give the misconception that every relationship is about sex, and evidently it's not. So hey, we got to change how we think and how we definitely look at people. It goes to show you cannot judge a book by its cover. You can't look at Nyla and tell that she lives that particular lifestyle. And the fact that she said, hey, I do what I do to take care of my family, to take care of myself. So I'm definitely not here to judge. It gave me some insight on how things are done in a different part of the world and a different light that I was not aware of. So I really appreciate that. And I hope that you can see things. If you've been thinking about being a sugar baby or a sugar daddy, hey, evidently it's a safe way to do it. So just be safe, protect yourself in all means, by all means out there and whatever you get yourself into. Be true to yourself. If these are thoughts that you've had, desires that you've had, be true to yourself. Manifest your own truth. I guarantee you, you'll have more peace and more joy in your life. So, hey, if it's something you've been thinking about, do what you got to do. I'm not telling you to go do it, but just be true to yourself. And I think you'll have a better life and a better opportunity. You've been watching the Gifts of Joy show. I am your host, Joy Douglas. Thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
I'm bringing you gifts of joy. Da 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 da. Gifts of joy. Da 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 da. Gifts of joy. Gifts of joy.